Howdy diddly dandy there, chums, says I, Captain of the Steves. And today, chums, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I think might be happening in February when it comes to No Man's Sky. And more importantly, what you guys think are going to be happening in February when it comes to No Man's Sky. So I've done a poll. Over here, here's the poll. Let's just jump on over so you can read a little bit more of the poll and see less of me. Right, okay. In February 2025, how big or small do you think the update will be for No Man's Sky? And here I sort of show all the sort of previous updates that we've had. So previous years in February, 2020, living ship, mid to large update. It was a fair size, wasn't it, to be fair? We had over in 2021, companions. Again, it was fairly large. That brought creature taming into the game. Sentinel, which brought in a new ship type, and they were very sort of really cool, the Sentinel ships, amongst one of my favourite ships even now. And I'd say that was mid-size. And then we had Fractal, which was more of an expedition, but it brought over PSVR 2. And then there was Omega, which was 2024, which was just an expedition, and we didn't get Orbital until a month later in March. Funny thing is, each of these brought in a new ship type or a way of travel with mounts. Yeah, pretty much all of these brought in a new ship apart from Companions, but Companions brought in mounts. So, pretty cool. Now, I'm wondering whether this year, as a new ship type, you know the UFO that we just got, the Atlantid sort of ship, I'm wondering whether we're going to see more Atlantid type ships. Now, if Hello Games do introduce a new Atlantid type ship that looks more like the saucer shaped ship that we got, the Boundary Herald, I think it was called, something like that, I think we're going to need more ship slots or a way of housing our ships. You know, like we've got one freighter at the moment. Maybe they could allow us to have two freighters and we can store 12 ships on each or something. Because with ship customization, we definitely need them. Okay, right, poll results. This is what you guys think out inside of the viewerverse. Expedition only, like the last 2 years. 22% of people have hit that up. Expedition mid to large update, 14%. Hoping for Worlds Part 2 plus an expedition is 55%. Now, the reason why I think we might see Worlds Part 2 happen early this year is because when Worlds Part 1 dropped, curiously in the patch notes, they actually said coming later this year in 2024. It didn't happen in 2024. So you would think that Worlds Part 2 has now been shifted and moved over to early part, or at least first quarter of 2025, which could mean that Worlds Part 2 will come out in February or March. See, I'm thinking we might get an expedition drop in Feb, with subtle hints that Worlds Part 2's on its way. And maybe a free-to-play expedition to get players jumping into No Man's Sky inside of February. Then a Mahusive Worlds Part 2 update in March. And then I'm thinking, because if they do add in purple systems, deeper oceans, all that sort of stuff, it sets the scene for the ARG Part 4 and maybe the arrival of the Void Mother. And being that that's quite creepy, I don't think we're going to see that happen until perhaps very late summer or fall when it comes closer to Halloween of 2025. I know that might make people go, you what? But that's kind of what I'm thinking. But we'll see how this all pans out. Want to see poll results keeping expectations low, 10%. See, I think that's quite wise. I think with Hello Games now doing a little bit of publishing of that new game that they're doing called Stage Fright, I'm wondering whether things are going to go a little bit slower when it comes to the update sort of cycle that we're used to. We're used to seeing something pumped out from Hello Games every month to 2 months, 3 at best. I think maybe now we might just see a quarterly update and a quarterly expedition. We shall see. Chasing Solitude says, I would love a new small mini game like Fishing Companions or something that's kind of a game within a game. I was thinking hoverboarding or snowboarding would be fun. Like a shield surfing in Breath of the Wild. We already have decent physics and how things could roll downhill, so why not? Well, now that we've got all the wave effects in, all the wavy-davy stuff, it'd be cool to have almost like a jet ski type exocraft. I mean, they could just upgrade the way that the Pilgrim works, whatever it is, you know, that little hover bikey type one, and actually make it work with wave physics. That'd be quite cool. Anyway, Holy Fuchs says it'll probably be an expedition with some minor updates, but of course I hope it's Wells Part 2. I wonder what each other tech from Light No Fire they'll be putting in No Man's Sky. Oh, I had a weird dream the other day that I was actually playing Light No Fire, and some of the things that were in my dream were freaking phenomenal. I'm going to do a video on it, but I'm not going to say it was a dream. I'm just going to say I've got some ideas. Because boy, could it be cool if Light No Fire is anything like what I imagined it to be. Oh my days. Cholin! Small to mid-size with an expedition, Wells Part 2, late summer. Michael Corpley, hello there Mike. Wells Part 2, fishing, golfing, Wells Part 3. Question mark. Well, some people think there are going to be 3 parts, because Sean Murray actually tweeted out 3 different globe emojis in different rotation. Who knows? You know. Anyway, we've got Pickwin 001. My theory is an annual free-to-play along with the update. Maybe many who have cross-saved beta and the Phoenix reward claimed during that time. Yeah, cloud save hasn't come to everybody. You do raise a very good point. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, technically, we couldn't actually claim the Phoenix claiming thing is over now, isn't it? It was only throughout January. I think it's still going at the moment. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Right. Okay. So here we go. What we got here? What I mean is, things that have no endpoint are missing and featureless. Station override, singularity engine, autophage construct, and the Atlas Eternal mission. All of these have ties to the realm of glass or mentions of the Atlantid or Void Mother. What if the next update is to flesh out all of these and finish them off? Give them functionality. Here's my video on it, and I have done a video on all of this. It's like, say, the station overrides. When you put them in right now into the station code, what does it say? It comes up and says glass, 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 glass. Yeah. When you go to see the autophage construct, you align yourself with the Crimson or to the Atlantid, and that changes the Atlas Eternal type path and what you have to do. And that doesn't seem to have an endpoint, does it, the Atlas Eternal mission? So, I mean, I guess the clue's in the name, Eternal, it goes on forever. But it should have a well, I shouldn't, going by namesake, maybe it shouldn't have an endpoint, but it doesn't feel finished, you know? But anyway, go hit that video up. I make a few other points in there. I don't want to spoil it for you, but go and have a quick watch. So, I asked if people think I'm right on this. Agree, 2025, Realm of Glass, Void Mother Year and Purple Systems, 57% of people agree with that notion, which is nice to see, heck yes. Maybe. I'd rather it to be variety than lore, though, says 11% of people. I think a lot of people would like to see more variety come into No Man's Sky, especially if Worlds Part 2 is similar to Worlds Part 1. Worlds Part 1 delivered a lot more variety to biomes. Hopefully Worlds Part 2 is going to do a bit more of that, and we know from the data mining that's going to be true when it comes to the oceans, because there's about 3 or 4 new biomes that have been seen already inside of the game files, and there's also one other biome for the surface level, which is like a relic, sort of throwback from the past type of biome. So hopefully we're at least going to see that in variety anyway. Disagree. New biomes and variety, Worlds Part 2, like 2024, kinda, like I was just mentioning there. 17% of people think that. Want to see poll results? 15% of people. And we've got 5 comments here as well. We've got a Rocket City Tim. Time to start rolling up those lore elements. Yes. Time to find out why we're in the game. I kind of see it as almost some sort of antivirus or something, or defrag tool inside of the simulation. The simulation has obviously got something wrong with it, some sort of infestation. And I think we're there to sort of go in, do checking on the files, rename files, do a bit of defragging, destroy bugs when we see them, like in Liquidators. I see us as some sort of attempt at an antivirus to combat whatever's happening with this realm of glass and the void infestation. That's what I think. Tyler Thunder, I also use the boundary failures will be added into. I also think the use of the boundary failures will be added into No Man's Sky this year, 2025. That's a very good point. When you actually fly down near to those boundary failures, if you look at the screen of your ship, it actually tells you the boundary signal strength and its fluctuations, which isn't actually in-game as yet as a mechanic, but we can see it on the screen that something visually is happening. I do think something is going to happen with those boundary failures at some point, and this could be the year. You're quite right. I should have featured those inside of my video, shouldn't I? I definitely should. Yes, because they are big enough to fit a ship through. Yeah. Flying into those, that'll be cool. Daniel King, give us more variation, since we have added the light no fire technology to make things more varied. Variation! A reason to explore a planet and see new things all the time, says Daniel King. Well, we've held procedural No Man's Skies and we've had procedural dungeons in space on derelict freighters. It would be nice to have outposts on planets that actually are procedural dungeons in a roundabout way that have decent loot. I mean, the derelict freighters have some decent loot if you need the nanites. But I think right now what we need when it comes to loot is customizations for our ships, for our multitools, for our armor. And I'm thinking different shaders, different skins, different patterns, different sort of decals that we can place where we like, so we can make ourselves look very more customized, very more sort of our own take on stuff. And I don't think they should be easy to get. So yeah, that'd be cool. David, you're usually right with your predictions. I would say maybe around 70% of the time. My predictions are fairly close to what happens. I kind of feel I understand where things could go, but sometimes I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. So it's like ship customization. I started banging that drum probably in 2020, and we didn't see it realised till 2023. And I've been saying it's got to be around the corner, it's got to be in the next update. I was right eventually, but not straight away, not when I thought it was going to come. I thought it was going to come into iteration way before it did. I kind of feel that Starfield might have had a little bit of a push on that, because I think, you know, Starfield's main draw was the ship customization. And I think Hello Games felt that they needed to do a little bit more in that sort of regard. Daniel King, I just want Worlds Part 2 update already. More variation of things. You'd like to hope there's more variation of things. I hope it is too. I mean, the game file and data miners would suggest that we know at least that we're going to get a fair few new biomes. Mainly underwater ones, and that surface level one that I mentioned about relic sites. So we do know that there is some variation coming, Daniel, we do. So anyway, that's pretty much everything I've got for you when it comes to what I think is going to happen. And when I say what I think is going to happen, it's what you guys inside the viewerverse think is going to happen. Which, yeah, I think you got a good point. Yes, yeah, heck yeah. Oh, I wonder if I can make that full screen. Oh. Yeah, maybe. Let's drag and drop that there. Wow, look at that! That's trippy, isn't it? It should go with the music. But anyway, people, I want to say a massive, great big thank you for everybody who took part in those polls. At the moment, we've got a bit of a quiet period happening inside of No Man's Sky. And, you know, that's been reflected in my channel a little bit. I'm doing a promotion at the moment on one of my vlog videos, and that's brought in a few new views and a little bit of an uplift to the channel, which has been lovely. But at the same time, it's always difficult to put out No Man's Sky content at this time of year, but whenever I have, you guys have freaking hit it. You've been on it like Sonic, you really have. After you watch those videos I do on No Man's Sky, if you do want to share them on social media, like stick them on Facebook or Reddit or wherever, I mean, I would do it myself, but a lot of the time, because it goes against social media platforms, oh, you're earning money from this, you're the owner of it, you can't do that. It's very difficult for me to share my own work. So, by all means, if you've already hit that like and subscribe, the next thing that could really help this channel and help the growth of this channel and maybe bring more people over to what I think is a pretty good channel is sharing it out on social media. A massive great big thank you to all those who are already doing that, and if you do that, a thank you in advance. Until next time, goodbye, and goodbye again.